I want to speak to you today about the power of prayer and how it can impact future generations. Let me share a story with you about a family, a dear lady that I met in Ukraine, and her testimony was so wonderful. She told me her story. When she was just a small girl, her parents were arrested and they were sent to Siberian prison camps for their faith in Jesus Christ. And when they were sent there, she was put on a train to Siberia to be near where their family was going to be. And she didn't know anyone in that city, and she was put on this train, and when she got off the train, there was a lady there, and the lady said, "Are you looking for someone?" And she said, "No," and she told her what had happened, and the lady said, "Well, come with me." And she took her into her home, and she raised her. That lady was a Christian, and she taught that young girl about Jesus, and that young girl grew up, and then when her parents were released from prison, her father actually died in prison, but when her mother was released, she met her mother, and her mother told her, "Your father and I prayed for you every single day." You see, they couldn't be with their children. They couldn't do anything for their daughter that they loved so much, but they could pray, and God did what they could not do. And I want you to know, God will do great and mighty things in future generations if we will just trust Him. You see, there was a person in the Bible, a lady, a godly woman, a woman of prayer by the name of Hannah. And she wanted a child so bad, and she didn't have a child, and she cried unto the Lord and said, "God, would you give me a child?" And God gave her that child. And do you know what she did? When God gave her that child, she gave that child back to God. And she said, I've given him for the rest of his life to live for the Lord. He belongs to the Lord. And when we begin to pray that way, God will impact future generations. I'm standing here. Listen, I am standing here right now because of a grandmother who prayed for me, a grandmother that I never met, a grandmother who died before I was ever born. And she prayed, and she sought the face of God for my father. My father was away in World War II. He was away at war. And so I wasn't even born. She died. And then my father had a son who he named after his father, my grandmother's husband, who was a godly man. And God answered her prayers because one day I walked into a church and I heard a man talk about Jesus. And that moment, I opened my heart to Christ, and He came into my life, and He transformed my life, and I've never been the same since that day. And I'm convinced it's because my grandmother prayed just like Hannah prayed. She prayed and sought the face of God, and God did a great and mighty work. And I stand here today, pray for the future generations. Pray for your children. Pray for your grandchildren. Pray for their friends. Let's see God move in the future generations.